Hello, and welcome to the Gamer's Closet. I'm your host, Douglas Wheat, and today we're going to be talking about Greed. Greed is a game that's been manufactured by many different game companies. This particular one here is manufactured by TDC Games. The game was originally published by Avalon Hill back in 1984. The game runs for about 30 minutes of game time, is rated for 2 to 6 players, and is rated for ages 7 and up. But let's dig into it a little further, shall we? Greed was released in 1984 and has been released by many game companies including Avalon Hill, Crown and Andrews, the Great American Greed Company, and TDC Games. The object of this game is to accumulate over 5,000 points by rolling winning combinations out of the greed dice before greeding out. The game was released in the United States as well as the United Kingdom under Waddington's banner. The Waddington's edition came with a very unique edition that came in a special suitcase. This game does come with multiple pieces. It comes with a scorecard, a pencil, 6 specialized greed dice, an instruction booklet that has the scoring sheets on the inside. The instruction booklet comes in English and French. To set up this game, each player rolls all 6 dice at once. The highest dice value goes first, followed by the others in descending order. After writing the name order on a score sheet, play is ready to begin. A player begins a turn by rolling all 6 dice at once. The dice values of a single roll appear here. A player must save a choice of die or dice combinations with point values before rolling the other dice again. You must continue to roll the unvalued dice again until your value of your various dice combination reaches a minimum point value of 500 or more. If the value of your accumulated dice is more than 500 points, you can either pass the dice and score those points immediately, or roll the dice again and risk a higher score. If all 6 dice have a point value, it is considered a full house. You must roll all 6 dice at once again, regardless of your current score. New point values will increase your score and can be continued on additional rolls. Any roll that does not include a new die or dice combination with a point value is considered a greed out. That player's turn is immediately terminated and all points during that turn are lost. Different rolls cannot be combined. For example, if you already have 3 R's and then you roll 3 more, they cannot be combined to make 6 of a kind, but are considered 2 sets of 3. Scores should be entered on the score sheet at the end of each turn. Rounds should be subtotaled as they are completed. A score sheet can keep track of up to 6 players for up to 5 rounds. If more space is needed, it recommends to use more than one sheet. When the first player accumulates 5,000 points, the end game begins. Each player has one remaining turn to try and win. After the last round, the player with the highest score is the winner. Well, this has been an overview of Greed. Greed is a very straightforward roll and dice game. The game itself is pretty straightforward. It has some really nice dice to it. They have a nice weight to them, so they do kind of slide a little bit, so you got to really put some effort into rolling them just because of their weight. But it is a pretty straightforward game. The several games I've played through this, I had issues where it was really easy to greed out. You got a lot of the low scoring points, but the higher scoring points where you get one of each individual dice is extremely hard to get. So you have a game that can take a little bit of time because you're nickel and diming your way up there with 100 points here, 150 points there. So you do have to really put some effort into it. Like I said, the dice have a nice weight to them. They look really nice. Sometimes it's a little hard to determine the green letter E's and the black letter E's without closer inspection, especially if you're playing in a not so well lit area. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent game. The game itself goes online anywhere from about $5 to $20. It's really easy to get a hold of. It's still in print today, especially by the TDC games I have here. They were printing in the early 2000s, and they're still putting out new editions every so often. But there's a lot of them online, so they're really easy to find. So If you want to play an interesting dice game, I would take a look at Greed. It's not like like I said, your typical dice game, so like Don't Go to Jail or something like that, because you have a greed out option on here, which you lose everything. So it just depends if you really want to push your luck on it. But for what it is, I'd say it's a pretty decent game, and it's a nice way to get through um, a power outage like I did in my particular case recently. So Greed, I would say, is a nice playable option. Um, Honestly, anybody can pick this up. It's rated for 7 to adult, but if you really have a kid that has numbers or things like that grasp pretty well, I'd say they could learn this. Just because it has that gambling aspect to it, a lot of people kind of frown on it, but it's not too heavily themed on it. So it just depends on what you want to do with it. But like I said, it's a pretty basic game. It's decent to play. I had a good time with it when I played through it. I don't see why most people wouldn't. So if you want to take a look at Greed, I would recommend it, and I would say that it's worth playing this game. Well, that's it from us here at the Gamers Closet. We'd like to thank you for checking our video on Greed from TDC Games. If there's a game in the future you'd like us to review or go over, please put it in the comments below. Please hit subscribe so that we can be the first to check out our future content. And as always, please, have a great gaming day.